This opening has such promise that this game doesn't really achieve. Batman Dark Tomorrow was released in 2003 for the Nintendo Gamecube and Microsoft Xbox. We're looking at the Gamecube version. It was developed by Kemco, a developer whose games I'm not very familiar with. A Japanese developer handling an American property, huh? What could go wrong? Anyway, as usual, we're starting with the story first, and I'm not going to give you a warning this time because this game is nearly 15 years old. So if you haven't played the game by now, well, this isn't going to make you want to play the game. Let's begin. The opening of the game is actually really cool as we see two people talking about their plan. It's pretty obvious who they are, though. We see Bruce Wayne thinking about his parents' deaths. Written by Scott Peterson. If I remember correctly, he was the editor on the Batman the Animated Series comic book. That's pretty cool. They actually got DC Comics to help with the story. Why is the opening music so awesome? Even if that is the ugliest Batmobile I've ever seen, it's worse than the one from Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe! The story follows a 3-act structure. The first act deals with Black Mask and Scarface and Ventriloquist having a gang war. The second act deals with Joker kidnapping Commissioner Gordon and Batman infiltrating Arkham Asylum to rescue him. And the third act deals with Batman confronting Ra's al Ghul. It flows nicely from point to point. Batman is portrayed much like how he should be. He's intimidating to the criminals, but a little loose on what he promises.
You'll let me go?
Yes. As long as going to jail is what you had in mind.
That's a little wit. Who knew Batman was such a snarker? Other characters show up such as Oracle, Robin, and Batgirl. Tim Drake and Cassandra Cain were Robin and Batgirl at the time, so this game pretty much adheres to the comic book continuity of its time. Remember, this was pre-New 52, before DC pushed the reboot button. Robin and Batgirl were really just cameos, though. As far as the villains go, you got your range from Joker, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Black Mask, Scarface, and Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher. All the villains you could have picked, you pick one of the lamest Batman villains ever. I think on the tier list of Batman's villains, he'd be like D rank. The main villain is Ra's al Ghul, which causes the plot to be a global threat. He's more dangerous than the Joker, but Joker is definitely a much more personal enemy. More on Ra's when we get to the ending. So far, I've honestly enjoyed the story. It moves quite nicely from point to point. The mystery of who's behind it is pretty obvious, but Batman's detective skills are put on display. Oracle definitely shows why she's so valuable. So overall, this part of the game is pretty solid. Now let's move on to the rest of the game, which I don't have much nice things to say. So if I get mad or go crazy, please forgive me. The graphics are dark. Very dark, which means it can be very hard to see where you are going. More on that later, I assure you. The FMVs look great for their time. I like the way they're animated. The voice acting is decent. Batman sounds a little too, how shall I say, too deep. Like he's really trying too hard to be badass, but he does an admirable job, I suppose. Everybody else sounds decent too. It definitely looks like the comic book world brought to the video game world. Now, let's begin with the gameplay, the meat of this review. You wanna know how this game plays? Well, let's take a look. This is the first combat battle of the game. Oh God. Oh God. What did I just get myself into? So, the next part of the game, you have to go across the rooftops to get the GCPD. This is where the game really starts to show its colors. Batman's control is incredibly awkward. He moves like he weighs 300 pounds. To get across the buildings, you have to use your bat grapple or bat cable. Aren't those the same thing? The difference is that the bat grapple sends you straight up, while the bat cable is used to get across buildings. But if you miss, you die. Fortunately, there's no lives in this game, so you don't get punished too badly. That leads me to my next complaint. The camera is fixed. You can't move it at all, and whenever you move Batman to a new area, the camera shifts, so thus you might find yourself going in a completely different direction that you didn't want to go. Why can't I move the camera with the C-stick? That's what it's for! How do you design a 3D platformer and not give you control over the camera? I'm not even 5 minutes in, I'm already yelling. This is where the game really rears its ugly head. In combat, like in Batman Vengeance, when you knock the enemy down, you have to handcuff them to make sure they don't get back up. Fortunately, you have an infinite supply of cuffs, so there's no danger of running out. But the problem is, enemies can swarm you, and a lot of them have firearms, which basically means being unable to cuff them because you're getting attacked. Sometimes enemies take one hit to go down, other times they take multiple hits. You never know, there's no rhythm to it. When you get knocked down by multiple enemies, doing the sweep get-up attack is your best friend because you can knock down multiple opponents with it. I never quite understood what the blue gauge was below the red gauge, but it turns out it's for Batman's cape, which mitigates the damage. So, it's body armor, basically. If you sneak behind your opponent, you can knock them out in one blow. Not much to say about that. Batman has gadgets, but I found myself barely using them. The batarangs, again, take you the first-person view, but you can't move while throwing them. What's up with that? The universal tool, which is basically used for unlocking doors, it's so annoying to use. A finger light, why would I ever need that? You have health packs to regain your health. Whenever you die, you get the option on if you want more batarangs, smoke bombs, or health packs. But trust me, just get the health packs. You will need that more than you need batarangs, and especially smoke bombs, which are again useless. I also love how whenever Batman goes down staircases, he doesn't walk down. Oh no, he just falls down awkwardly. What, is Batman afraid of stairs? I also really hate going through the sewers because it's a maze. You better be paying attention to that map or you will get lost. What, Batman can't fight a bunch of rats? Going to places is hard to decipher, especially when you have to use key cards to open doors, so you can't be sure you're going the right way. Whatever, I've already ripped this game enough. Let's move on to the bosses. The first boss is against Black Mask, but because the camera is so awkward, you can't run up to him. You have to get up on top to drop these boxes on him. Too bad getting up to the top of the ceiling is hard to do, but he can still shoot you no matter where you are. That's not fair! The second boss is Scarface and Ventriloquist. Well, I use the term boss loosely, because all you have to do is take out his men and reach him, and he's taken care of in a cutscene. That's something. Then you go to the sewers and fight Ratcatcher. Well, no, he doesn't fight you. He has two giant rats to fight you. Not sure where he got them, but okay. You know what I found the best thing to do in this fight? Just go into the tunnel, crouch down, and just do a spin kick constantly. It's the best way to beat them.
Don't worry.
You?
Just like you.
What? I'm not...
What the hell does that mean? Just like you? That's what you have to say? Then you get to the Arkham Asylum. The first boss you fight is Killer Croc, and he's annoying because you have to fight while submerged in water where he has the mobility advantage. If he drowns you, you lose. All you can do is run around and outlast him. The next boss is Poison Ivy, who once again uses her giant plant monster to fight you. You're supposed to use this anti-poison device to weaken it, but honestly, I found the best approach is to just run up and mash the punch button like crazy. Monotonous, but gets the job done. The next boss is Mr. Freeze. There's nothing to this, it's just fight him directly. After playing a game where fighting Mr. Freeze the direct way was suicide, which makes sense considering Batman can't fight Freeze directly, it's a little lacking in creativity. Then Mr. Zaz, which is pretty much the exact same thing. Finally, the epic showdown the game has been building up to. Batman versus the Joker, for the fate of Commissioner Gordon. Actually, no, he just sends inmates to attack Commissioner Gordon. Whatever. I beat them all, and now finally the confrontation between Batman and Joker.
Killjoy!
No more games. Where is he?
Oh, you know who's behind this already, don't you?
Where is Ra's al Ghul?
That's right! It was the demon's head himself! Oh, Batman, you knew as usual. Always playing your cards close to the vest. You can't do that when one of those cards is the Joker.
Congratulations, Detective.
Ra's al Ghul.
You have made it through the asylum much faster than I had anticipated, proving your worthiness yet again.
Kidnapping Gordon was just your way of keeping me out of the picture.
That's it? You don't even get to fight Joker? He just knocks him out in a cutscene? This is Batman's arch enemy! Ah, whatever. Final level. So the seriousness of the situation is summed up nicely.
Up against Ra's al Ghul, the Demon's Head. The man has lived for over 600 years, spurred on entirely by his quest to remake the world in his own image. I never know if I'm gonna walk away from an encounter with him.
But then comes the worst part of the game. Batman decides to ditch the Batwing and go on Glider. Let me just tell you, this part can go to hell! The graphics are so dark and pitch black that I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. Sometimes I hit a wall that I didn't even know was there. Then Batman would start dropping automatically. I discovered that you have to tilt up and down to make sure you keep altitude. This took me over an hour to do. That's an hour of my life I'm not getting back. I could have done something much more productive with that hour. So Batman infiltrates Ra's castle. Ra's tells Talia that he will make him the offer once more. And Talia flashes back. I gotta say, I understand what they're going for, but I don't like how Talia is characterized as being so weak. I mean, she's supposed to be a badass, but she doesn't do anything besides help Batman out once. Whatever. So you get to the castle, and how do you get in? Wouldn't you believe it, but you're supposed to use the bat grapple on this gun sentry and go up. But how would anyone know to do that on their first playthrough? Also, you're supposed to go without tripping alarms, but I ended up tripping them anyway. We're almost to the end of the game. Come on, let's do it. So Batman makes it through to where Ra's and Talia are waiting, but Ubu comes out to fight Batman first. Poor Ubu. I just tell him he'll be combined with Bane if he ever makes it into a movie. This fight is long. All I did was run around and attack whenever it was necessary. He takes forever to die, though. Make sure you have your health packs. So after he goes down, you finally confront Ra's al Ghul. He talks about how he's going to save the planet and offers Batman to be his successor. Batman turns him down. The usual song and dance between these two. So the final fight begins. It's actually kind of fun since you have a sword. You don't stab him fatally, oh no, but honestly, he's pretty easy. Knock him down and Batman will finish the blow. Finally, my patience with this game has come through. Now I get to sit back and enjoy the ending.
Father!
I may be defeated, but my vision will be a reality, and you will be there to witness it. So shall it be.
Huh? What's going on? What? What just happened? Guess what? There's something we forgot to do! You're supposed to go and shut down Ra's al Ghul's doomsday device, but the game doesn't give you any indication that you can do that! Whatever, I'll just go back and... I can't go back. I saved at this part. I'm stuck with the bad ending. I can't go back. I've got to do the whole game all over again to get the good ending. I can't. I hate this game. Ah! Well, I finally made it back. You gotta make sure you go into the 4th demon head. That will take you to the doomsday device, and now you have to use the universal tool to deactivate it. The universal tool. Oh, that's just great. That thing I use for unlocking doors has to be used to save the day in the end. How wonderful. So I go back. I beat Ra's again, and this time he can't kill everyone. But Ubu has something to say about that.
Beloved!
monster!
Nice going. So finally, the true ending plays. Talia and Ubu restore Raish in the Lazarus Pit. Batman gets all of Raish's men out because that's the kind of guy he is. At least we get to hear the awesome orchestra music again.
I'm coming home.
So that's Batman Dark Tomorrow. Is it a good game? Oh, God, no! The story is a fairly standard Batman vs. Raish story, but it's enjoyable. The rest of the game is just marred by questionable design choices. Although, I do see what could have been, but it just wasn't meant to be. Oh well. Next time, we will be either doing Batman Rise of Sinzu or redoing Injustice 2, since I wasn't very satisfied with my original review. For now, I'm signing off. Have yourselves a fantastic day, take care, and if you liked the video, please hit that subscribe button. See you later! Ugh, I am never playing this again.